you all, myself Shasana, and today we are going to study a very interesting topic of mathematics, which is algebra. Now, many people say that algebra is a little tougher topic than the normal topics, but do you know that the algebra is very easy and fun if we will just visualize this algebra? So for that, I am now going to show you the magic of the algebra. So I want the help of someone. Okay, so she is here to help me. Now what I am going to do is that I am going to show you the magic of the algebra, and here I am going to give her some operations to do with the number which she wants, and then I guarantee you that the answer will be 6. Okay, so now let's do it. So think of any number which you want. Any number.
Okay, I think.
Now just add 6 to it.
Yeah.
Multiply it by the 2.
Yeah.
Divide it with the 2.
Yeah.
And after that, subtract the number which you had thinked.
Yes.
Okay, so what is your answer?
6.
Very nice. So as you can see that the answer was 6. Now let's do, don't believe me, so let's do another number. Okay, so I'm now going to do the same set, I'm going to tell her the same sets of operations which she had done earlier. So firstly think of a number.
Yes.
Then add 6.
Yeah.
Multiply it with the 2. Multiply by 2.
Yeah.
And after that divide it by the 2.
Yeah.
And then subtract the number you had think about it.
Yeah.
So what is the answer you had got?
I got 6.
Again 6. Now let's do the last number again. So here, think of a number.
Yes.
Then just do this operations. Add 6.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
after that multiply it with the 2.
Yeah.
And after that divide it
Yeah.
by the 2.
Yeah.
After this, you have to subtract the number which you had got, which you had think about it.
Yeah. The answer is 6 again.
So now, what was the number you had thinked?
I had think 5.
And earlier?
3.
And earlier?
2.
Okay, so now just think about a larger number. Any larger number, because these are the smaller numbers, right? So think about the number which is between 40 to 50, like that.
Okay, I think.
You have think? Okay, now just do this set of operations. Add 6 to it.
Yeah.
Multiply it by the 2. Yes, do it. Okay,
Yeah.
very nice. And now divide it by the 2. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Subtract the number which you had got,
Yeah.
which you had just
Think I know.
yes.
The
Answer is
6.
very nice. Which number you had thought?
50.
Okay, so you had thought 50. Now these are the some set of number as an example which on which we had performed these operation and we had got the answer as 6. So this is the magic of the algebra. So bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Now let's see how does it work. So firstly let me explain you what is the algebra, and then we will just move on to this trick, what happened here, and we will explore that in details. So firstly let me just erase this up. Now, what is the algebra? So, do you know that the algebra is nothing but a language of mathematics, or the branch of mathematics which deals with the variables and constants, of course. So, what are these variables and constants? Okay, so do you know about the arithmetic? I think you know, or if not, so don't worry. Arithmetic is just the branch of mathematics which deals with the simple operators like the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So these all operators come in the category of arithmetic. So these are also known as arithmetic operators. So now, here, if I will just take these two things. Arithmetic and algebra. Now here, let's take a statement. Okay, let's take a statement like 4 added to 6 is equal to So let's take this statement here. So now if I will just write it in the arithmetic, I will simply write 4 added to 6 is equal to 4, right? Like this. But in the algebra, I will write the same statement as 4 plus 6 is equal to x. So here, can you see the difference? In the algebra, we are using the variables. What are the variables? Variables are the, you can say, symbols which can vary their value. What I mean by this? Okay, let me explain you this as well. So firstly, let's take a very interesting example. So here, have you ever seen the cricket match? I hope that you had. So what happens in that? How many players play that match? Cricket match. 22 players, right? 11 players in each team. Now, there is a fixed value. There is a fixed value. What is that? That is that 22 players plays the match. Okay. Now, how many, if I will ask you, how many spectators or the audience saw that match, had seen that match? Okay, so what you will say? Like 45,000, sometimes 50,000, 60,000, like that. So now number of spectators in 1 year it's 45,000, in another year it's 50,000, and in another year it's 60,000. So how can I say how many spectators watched that match? It's not a constant. That means that it doesn't have a fixed value. It changes. It varies. And that's why the number of spectators is the variable. The value which varies can be represented by a variable or by a symbol that is known as variable. For example, I can represent number of spectators here, number of players, we know it's 22, and number of spectators, that's, we can represent it with any number of spectators, and that's why I had just chosen S. So S is just a symbol, and we don't know what its value. Its value could be 45,000, its value could be 50,000, its value could be 60,000, and anything. So this is known as variable. So I can say that this is a variable, and this is the constant. I hope that it's clear. Now the next thing I want you to see is that if I will write a statement like, can I make a number, can I use a number or digit as a variable? Because it's also a symbol, right? So if I will take like 2, so can 2 be a variable? No, it can't be a variable. Now why is that? That's because it's a symbol, so it can be a variable. No, because 2 has a fixed value. We can't say that 2 represents 3, right? 2 has a fixed value, that is 2. It can't represent 5 or 6 or anything else. It only represents 2. So that's why the digits, the numbers, we can't use it as a variable. So what do we use as a variable? Actually, we use the alphabets of the English as a variable generally, because we can use any symbol as variable. I can also even use the star as variable. But generally we use the alphabets of the English as the variable. So now this algebra is just the branch of mathematics which deals with the variables and the constants. Now, do you know that this algebra is derived from the word algebra, which means restoring. So what do you mean by restoring, and why do we call it as restoring, and why the meaning of algebra is restoring the thing? So you will just learn this as we move ahead in this beautiful topic. So firstly, let's take a statement. So firstly, what happens is that we have to learn how to convert the English statement into the mathematical statements. So now let's see it. So let's take a statement as simple as 4 added to the product of 8 and m. Let's suppose this also m. So we can use any variable. Usually we use x, y, z, s, like these type of variables. But let's take this m. Okay, so this is a this is an English statement, and now we have to convert it into the mathematical statement. So now let's see this. Okay, so 4 added means this, right? The plus sign. So 4 added to the product. What is the product? Multiplication, right? So product of 8 and m. Okay, so now let's write it. So 4 added. So as it is added, so I'm going to represent that by this sign. So that's very simple. So 4 added to the product of 8 and m. So now product of 8 and m. So that means that here I have to write like this, 8 and m, like this. We have to put the bracket as well because it is a product. We now don't know the value of m, and that's why we want to represent like this. Is it the right way? Do you know that the multiplication is the default operation, and because of that you can write this 8 and m like, okay, so 8 into m is equal to 8m. Because the multiplication is the default operation, so that's why if you will just write it like this, so the people will understand, okay, there is no operation between these, but the multiplication as it is a default operation, we can just understand that here the multiplication is happening. Okay, so now let's understand. So this is the statement. Should I convert it into a more simpler form? Right, I can write it like 4 plus 8m. That's very simple. And could I again convert it into the simpler form? Can I make it a little more simpler? No, I can't do like that because I don't know the value of the m. Now, this m is hiding something which we don't know, which is the value which we don't know, right? So this is the beauty of the variables. Now, let's see how do we represent the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division in the algebra. So they are very simple. There is nothing more and nothing very hard to learn here. So for addition in the algebra, first let's represent this thing. So like 4 plus okay, so in the algebra, how you will represent 4 added to a? You will just write it simple like 4 added to a. That's very simple. For multiplication, as we had learned, we will write like this, 4 into a. So I will write it like 4a. For division, normally what we do is that we take the help of the fractions. So for that, let's say 4 divided by a. So I can write it as 4 divided by a. And also 4 divided by 8 like that. The next is that here I am just writing the how this is the addition. Okay, this is the addition. This is the subtraction. This is the division. Okay, 1 minute, sorry, here I just written wrong. This is the multiplication. And here, I'm now going to show you the subtraction. That is just 4 minus a, like that. Right, so that's how we write it in the algebra. So here the difference is just about the multiplication, and in the division we usually take the help of the fractions and we write it like numerator and denominator. Now numerator is just the upper number, the upper value of the fraction, and the denominator is the below value, this value. So now I think that it's clear. Now let me introduce you to the expressions. Now if I will just say expressions, what comes first in your mind? The expressions like angry, sad, happy? No, in the algebra it's not the expression. In the algebra, expressions are just the variable and a constant connected with a operator. So now let me just explain you this thing. So now we are going to learn about the algebraic expressions. Now, here if I will just take an example, let's say 4a added to 6. Okay, so this this is going to be an expression. Now how? Like in the English, expression word means the expressions such as like happy, sad, angry, like these, right? So in the algebra, it's like this. Now the common thing between these is that in the English, we use these expressions to convey or to tell someone, right, how we are feeling and to communicate something, right? Like that, in the algebra, these expressions communicate us like these, right? So in the expression, what happens in algebraic expression, what happens is that there will be a variable. This will be a variable, or just let me just add a little more thing like b. Okay, so this is the variable. And this, as you can see, is an operator. And this is the constant. I think that it's clear. So in the algebraic expressions, what happened? There is a variable, there is a constant, and it is they both are just, you can say, put it together with the help of an operator. So they are joined with the help of the operator. So that's an example of an algebraic expression. So I hope that it's clear. And now let's understand another term, which is coefficient. Now what do you mean by coefficient? Okay, let's do this. What is the coefficient? So coefficient is nothing but a variable and you can say the constant, which is connected with the operator multiplication, right? So for example, 4a, 5a, or let's take another variable like 8b or 8x you can also take. So that's very commonly used. So that's why 8x. So these all are coefficient. What are they? Coefficient. So I hope that it's clear. So they are just like these things, a variable and a constant connected with the operator known as multiplication. So I hope that it's clear. So coefficient, variables, constants and expressions are clear to you. And now let's change some English statements into the algebraic expressions or mathematical statements, of course. So now let's do some examples. Very simple one. So 8 multiplied with n. Okay, so let's take this one. This is a very easy one, right? So 8 multiplied with n, that's 8 multiplied, that's multiply sign, 8 multiplied to what? N. That's 8n. Now, can you write 4 multiplied to 5 as 4, 5? No, it will become 45, right? 4 into 5 is not 45, it's 20. So 4 into 5, we can't write it as like this, right? That's the thing. So you can only write a constant and a variable like this. You can't write two constants like this. You can just multiply it, right? There is no need to write it. So you will always write it like this, or you can write it like, because like this, which here as you can see bracket represents the multiplication, so that's why you can write it like this as well. But you can't write it 4 and 5, right? So never write two constants like this, it will be wrong. Now, let's take another example because it's very easy, it's simple. I think that algebra is getting fun. Yes? So now let's take another example like 8 added to the product of 9 and 8. Okay, so that's again a very simple question. So 8 added to the product of 9 and 8, just consider it to be 9. Okay, so that's very simple. 8 added to something, we don't know what that something is. Here it's written that it's the product of 9 and 8, so I can write it as 9 into 8. Is it right? If I want to write in this format, so I am going to put the bracket, and if not, so I can just write it as 8 plus 9a. That's how simple it is. So now I think that we should end this session right now, and in the next video we are going to learn how to solve some algebraic expressions, and we are also going to learn about the equations. So for now, thank you for watching this video and have a cheerful day ahead. If you want any improvement in me, so you can comment it in the comment box. Thank you.